Welcome back Coinology. When we talk about coins, especially the 1 cent coin from the United States of America, we are not only talking about a simple piece of copper-plated zinc, we are diving into a world of history, tradition, design, symbolism, hidden treasures, and the fascinating marketplace where collectors and enthusiasts search for the rarest of the rare. The 2015 D1 cent coin, struck in Denver, is one of those pieces that may seem ordinary at first glance, but when you start peeling away the layers of its story, you realize just how extraordinary this small coin can be. Imagine a coin minted in the modern era, yet valued by collectors and enthusiasts at hundreds of millions of dollars, with stories surrounding it that blend fact, rarity, and the excitement of numismatics. That is the magic of the 2015 D penny, a coin carrying the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a coin minted for circulation by the billions, and yet in certain conditions and with certain unique attributes, it can reach astronomical values that blow the imagination wide open. The first thing to understand is what exactly the 2015 D penny is in physical terms. It weighs about 2.5 grams, following the modern standard established back in 1982 when the composition of the cent was changed from primarily copper to a zinc core plated with a thin layer of copper. That change came because the price of copper rose so high that the metal content of pennies was worth more than the coin itself. Therefore, since 1982, every regular 1 cent coin has been primarily zinc with copper plating, and the 2015 D follows that tradition. Its diameter is 19 millimeters, small in size yet massive in symbolism. On the obverse side, you see the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed originally by Victor David Brenner in 1909. That design has become one of the most recognizable portraits in numismatics, a true American icon, symbolizing honesty, freedom, and leadership. Above Lincoln's portrait, you find the motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that has accompanied American coins for over a century and has become part of the national spirit. To the left side of Lincoln's profile, the word liberty is inscribed, reminding us of one of the core values of the United States. To the right side of Lincoln's image, you see the date 2015 and, of course, the mint mark D, which indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has been producing coins since the early 20th century and is one of the most important facilities for the United States Mint. Its mint mark D has appeared on billions of coins, yet every year, collectors carefully check their coins, looking for small differences, errors, or rare varieties that can change an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. On the reverse side, the 2015 D penny carries the design known as the Union Shield, introduced in 2010 as the new standard reverse for Lincoln cents. This shield design is incredibly symbolic, with a strong resemblance to the shields carried in the Civil War, a reminder of the preservation of the Union, something Abraham Lincoln himself fought and sacrificed so much for. The shield has 13 vertical stripes, representing the original 13 states, bound together under a horizontal bar with the national motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Across the shield, a banner is draped with the denomination 1 cent, reminding us of the coin's face value. Even though it says 1 cent, the market value for certain versions of the 2015 D penny has gone far beyond what anyone could have imagined, with rare examples being valued in the hundreds of millions of dollars due to their condition, rarity, or unique minting anomalies. When we look deeper into the history of the Lincoln cent, we can trace its legacy back to 1909, the centennial year of Abraham Lincoln's birth. That was when Victor David Brenner's design was first placed on the coin, making Lincoln the first real historical figure to appear on a regular U.S. coin intended for circulation. Before that, liberty or symbolic images were used. Since 1909, Lincoln's portrait has remained on the cent, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Over the years, the reverse design has changed several times, from the wheat ears of 1909 to 1958, to the Lincoln Memorial from 1959 to 2008, and finally to the Union Shield beginning in 2010. The 2015 D penny sits firmly within this modern shield era, yet carries with it all the weight of history from over a century of Lincoln cent production. Now, let us think about why this coin can be worth so much. In everyday circulation, the 2015 D penny is extremely common. Billions were minted, and most people don't even bother looking at them when they receive change at a store or supermarket. But the magic lies in the details. Collectors look for mint errors, varieties, and high-grade uncirculated examples that can turn an ordinary penny into a prize worth thousands, millions, or in extreme collector markets, even hundreds of millions. Errors like doubled dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, die cracks, missing letters, or even unusual colorations can drive values into the stratosphere. Combine that with pristine mint state grades given by professional grading services, and suddenly a coin that was struck for 1 cent is sitting in the market valued at prices unimaginable to the average person. The 2015 D penny, according to collector stories and certain numismatic market legends, has examples that have sold or been estimated at nearly $599 million, a number so staggering that it instantly captures attention. Of course, part of this story blends reality with collector myth and excitement, but that is part of the magic of coin collecting. Coins are not just pieces of metal, they are pieces of art, history, and sometimes financial opportunity. They connect generations, telling stories of presidents, mints, economies, and the people who pass them from hand to hand. Imagine holding a penny from your pocket, the most basic coin in circulation, and realizing that there could be a version of that same coin out there in the world worth more than skyscrapers, sports franchises, or palaces. That is why collectors take magnifying glasses, microscopes, and reference books to study every detail, every letter, every shine of the surface, hoping to uncover that once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The 2015 D penny has become one of those fascinating modern coins that inspire collectors to dream big and search carefully. The Denver Mint, which struck this coin, has a long tradition of producing coins that end up surprising collectors. Over the years, Denver has minted coins with errors that turned into legendary rarities. In 2015, billions of pennies rolled out of its presses, but only a few among them carry those unique differences that elevate their value beyond comprehension. Collectors know this, and they keep searching, because the reward could be beyond imagination. The story of the 2015 D penny continues to unfold when we begin to consider not only the physical design and minting process but also the incredible symbolic weight this coin carries in American history and the numismatic world. When we hold a 2015 D penny, we are not merely holding a coin, we are holding the result of over 2 centuries of U.S. minting tradition, a continuation of practices that began all the way back in 1793 when the very first cents were struck. To truly understand why collectors value even the most modern cents, we must look back into history and realize how the 1-cent coin became so important in the daily life of the United States. From the very beginning, the cent was a workhorse coin. It circulated heavily, handled by farmers, merchants, schoolchildren, and workers across every state of the Union. Over the years, its design evolved, yet it never lost its role as the smallest denomination that could still buy something meaningful. Even though inflation has eroded the purchasing power of the penny, making it seem almost useless in modern commerce, the coin still holds sentimental, symbolic, and historical value. This dual nature, being worthless in terms of spending power but priceless in terms of collectability, gives the penny an almost magical aura. The 2015 D cent, as ordinary as it may appear in circulation, represents the continuation of this story. Think about the design once again. The obverse side shows Abraham Lincoln, a man whose life and legacy changed the course of American history. He was born in a log cabin in 1809, rose from humble beginnings, taught himself law, and became one of the most admired presidents in the world. He led the nation through the Civil War, preserved the Union, and ended slavery through the Emancipation Proclamation and the passage of the 13th Amendment. To this day, Lincoln symbolizes honesty, perseverance, and leadership. His face on the cent is more than just decoration, it is a tribute to the man who held America together during its darkest hour. Every 2015 D penny, no matter how small or ordinary, carries that image. Now imagine billions of those coins being struck at the Denver Mint. The process itself is a marvel of modern engineering. Planchets, the blank discs that become coins, are fed into massive high-speed presses. The dies strike each planchet with thousands of pounds of pressure, imprinting Lincoln's face on one side and the Union shield on the other. The sound of clanging presses, the heat of the factory, the speed of production, it is an industrial ballet producing billions of coins that spread across the nation. But within that mass production, accidents happen. Dies may wear down, creating doubled images. Planchets may be misfed, creating off-center strikes. Copper plating may be uneven, leading to unusual surface tones. And once in a while, one of these coins comes out so different, so unusual, that it captures the attention of collectors around the world. This is where the value of the 2015 D penny skyrockets. In ordinary condition, it is worth only its face value, 1 cent. But if you happen to find one of the rare varieties or errors, the value could leap into hundreds, thousands, or millions of dollars. Stories circulate about coins that look almost identical to every other cent yet carry minting anomalies that make them priceless. Collectors and dealers will pay enormous sums for coins that meet these criteria. And this is why the number $599 million comes up in discussions about the 2015 D penny. Some of the rarest examples, possibly with unique double die varieties, pristine proof-like surfaces, or unknown minting errors, are rumored to have valuations in that astronomical range. But it's not just errors or varieties that matter. Condition is also crucial. The world of numismatics relies heavily on grading, the process of evaluating a coin's condition. Professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC have set standards ranging from poor, P1, all the way to mint state 70, MS70, which is a flawless coin with no visible marks even under magnification. A 2015 D penny graded MS70 is an incredibly rare find, because billions of pennies circulate and get scratched, worn, and damaged within days of leaving the mint. To find one in perfect condition, straight from mint rolls or mint sets, is like finding a needle in a haystack. Such coins can command prices far beyond what most people would expect, and in the highest levels of collector mania, those prices can reach into the hundreds of millions. Think about the psychology of collectors. They are not just buying a coin, they are buying history, rarity, prestige, and the dream of owning something that nobody else in the world has. This sense of exclusivity drives the market higher. A coin like the 2015 D penny in ordinary condition may not mean much, but in extraordinary condition or with extraordinary features, it becomes an artifact of power and prestige. People with wealth to spare may be willing to pay unbelievable amounts just to own a unique piece of numismatic history. Now let us return to the reverse design, the Union Shield. This is a powerful reminder of Lincoln's greatest achievement, the preservation of the United States during the Civil War. The shield stripes represent the original 13 colonies, united under a single banner. The inscription E pluribus unum symbolizes unity from diversity, an idea that resonates deeply in a nation built from people of all backgrounds. The banner with the denomination 1 cent across the shield is a reminder of the coin's role as both symbol and tool of commerce. To a casual observer, it's just a design, but to a numismatist, every line, every detail, carries meaning. The way the letters are struck, the sharpness of the shield's edges, the centering of the banner, all of these can make the difference between a common coin and a coin worth fortunes. Collectors often compare coins from different mints in the same year. In 2015, pennies were struck in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark, mostly for proof coins. The Denver Mint is famous for producing strong, clear strikes, but it has also been the source of fascinating mint errors. This is why the 2015 D penny continues to attract attention. Every coin from Denver carries the potential of being an extraordinary discovery. Now let us imagine the marketplace. Picture a coin auction in a grand hall, where collectors gather, their eyes fixed on the podium. A 2015 D penny, seemingly ordinary, is placed under the spotlight. But this is no ordinary penny, it is graded MS-70, a perfect coin, or perhaps it carries a rare double die error on the obverse. The bidding starts small, perhaps at $100, but quickly rises. Hands go up, paddles are raised, the numbers climb: $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, $50 million. The room fills with gasps and murmurs. Finally, after a flurry of bids, the hammer comes down at an astonishing $599 million. The crowd erupts, and headlines the next day proclaim the sale of one of the most valuable pennies in history. This is the kind of legend that surrounds the 2015 D penny. Whether every detail is fact or myth does not matter, the excitement is real, the passion of collectors is real, and the dream of finding such a coin is what keeps the numismatic world alive. The journey of the 2015 D penny also connects us with broader economic themes. Coins reflect the economy of their time. In 2015, the United States was still recovering from the effects of the financial crisis of 2008, but growth was steady, technology was booming, and digital payments were beginning to replace cash transactions. Yet despite all this, the humble penny continued to circulate. Billions were struck, billions were used, and billions were discarded or forgotten. And yet, within that sea of ordinary coins, some extraordinary ones emerged, creating legends worth hundreds of millions. It's a reminder that even in the most modern age, when technology seems to overshadow tradition, there is still room for small, simple things to carry immense value. The magic of the 2015 D penny lies in this paradox. On one hand, it is one of the most common coins in existence. On the other hand, certain examples are among the most valuable coins in the world. It is both ordinary and extraordinary at the same time. And that is why collectors continue to hunt for it, study it, and treasure it. When we continue our deep dive into the 2015 D1 cent coin, we begin to realize that this small piece of copper-plated zinc is more than just a tiny fraction of money, it is an object that bridges generations. Imagine how many millions of people held a 2015 D penny in their hands without even noticing it, slipping it into pockets, purses, cash registers, and coin jars. For most people, it was just change, almost meaningless in value, something they might drop on the ground without caring. Yet for those who understand numismatics, each penny is like a lottery ticket, carrying the possibility of hidden rarity or error that could transform it from a 1-cent coin into a fortune worth hundreds of millions. The concept of rarity in coins is one of the most fascinating aspects of collecting. Rarity is not always about how many coins were minted. In fact, billions of 2015 D pennies were minted, so in terms of sheer numbers, this coin is far from rare. But within that massive number, there are always exceptions, always outliers, always coins that by chance of production became unique. That uniqueness is what transforms them into treasures. It could be a misstrike, a die clash, a double die, a repunched mint mark, or a coin that somehow retained an absolutely flawless surface without a single blemish. When you think about billions of coins being struck in machines that run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, producing coin after coin with massive pressure and speed, the idea of even one flawless coin surviving seems miraculous. Yet those are the coins collectors crave, the ones that escape the chaos of mass production to become pristine works of art. To understand why people value the 2015 D penny so much, we must also think about the human desire to collect. Humans have always collected things: stones, shells, books, stamps, and coins. Collecting is not just about owning, it is about connecting to history, beauty, and meaning. A coin is both an artifact and a piece of art. It carries the story of the time it was minted, the person whose portrait it shows, the nation that issued it, and the hands it passed through. A coin is at once a work of design, a financial tool, and a piece of national identity. The 2015 D penny, with Lincoln's profile and the Union Shield, embodies American ideals of unity, perseverance, and strength. To collectors, owning one of the rarest or most perfect examples of this coin is like owning a piece of America itself. Now imagine the 2015 D penny in its role as a teaching tool. Teachers use pennies to teach children how to count, how to recognize numbers, and even how to understand history. A penny seems small, but it is often the first coin a child encounters. Think of how many school projects involve gluing pennies onto boards to make timelines or crafts. Every time a child picks up a penny and looks at Lincoln's face, they are unknowingly participating in a tradition that has lasted more than a century. And when that penny happens to be a 2015 D, it becomes part of this broader story of how coins are woven into the fabric of everyday life. The Denver Mint, where the 2015 D was struck, plays a major role in this story. The Denver Mint is not just a factory, it is a historical institution. Its roots go back to the Colorado gold rush of the mid-19th century, when people flooded the Rocky Mountains searching for fortune. In 1906, the Denver Mint officially opened as a branch of the U.S. Mint, and ever since, it has been striking coins for circulation. The Mint Mark D has appeared on billions of coins, yet every single one carries a piece of that Colorado history. The 2015 D penny continues this tradition, linking the modern world of digital payments and high-speed minting with the rugged days of the frontier and gold prospecting. Collectors often ask, what makes the 2015 D penny so special compared to other years? The answer lies in a combination of design, symbolism, condition, and the mysteries of minting. The Union Shield reverse, introduced in 2010, is still relatively new, giving modern Lincoln cents a fresh look compared to the Lincoln Memorial design that dominated for half a century. This shield connects directly to Lincoln's legacy, making the coin historically meaningful. Furthermore, the year 2015 was a time when collectors were paying close attention to pennies, hunting for varieties and errors with renewed energy. Social media and online auction sites were booming, spreading stories of rare coins found in pocket change. The 2015 D penny became part of this movement, with tales of extraordinary examples fetching prices that ordinary people could barely believe. Let us consider an example. Suppose a 2015 D penny left the Denver Mint with a double die error on Lincoln's eye or the motto, "In God We Trust." At first glance, it might look normal, but under magnification, the letters or features would appear doubled, making it an instant rarity. Collectors who specialize in error coins would immediately recognize its importance and place a high value on it. Another example might be a penny struck on a defective planchet, creating unusual surface textures or incomplete designs. Such coins become conversation pieces, drawing collectors into bidding wars at auctions. And when such coins are graded at the highest levels, with MS68, MS69, or even the elusive MS70, they become legends worth millions. The $599 million valuation tied to the 2015 D penny may seem unbelievable, and in truth, it is partly myth and partly reality. It reflects the way numismatic legends grow. When collectors hear stories of rare pennies selling for millions, the excitement spreads, and soon people imagine even greater possibilities. The idea that a penny could be worth nearly $600 million captures the imagination in a way that few other stories can. It is the kind of tale that makes people check their pocket change carefully, hoping to stumble upon their own hidden treasure. Beyond the market, the 2015 D penny represents the survival of tradition in a changing world. In recent years, there have been debates about whether the penny should be retired altogether. Critics argue that it costs more to produce than it is worth, that it clutters pockets and slows down transactions, and that it serves little purpose in a digital age. Yet defenders of the penny argue that it is part of America's heritage, that Lincoln deserves to remain on the nation's most humble coin, and that eliminating the penny would sever a link to history. The 2015 D penny stands in the middle of this debate, a coin that seems worthless on one hand but priceless on the other. Think about the journey of a single 2015 D penny. It leaves the mint in Denver, shiny and new, packed into bags with thousands of other coins. It travels by truck or armored car to a Federal Reserve Bank, then to a local bank, and eventually to a store. Someone receives it as change, puts it in a wallet or jar, maybe spends it again. Over time, it gets scratched, tarnished, and worn. It may fall on the sidewalk and be picked up by a child, or it may sit in a drawer for years, forgotten. For billions of coins, that is the end of the story. But for a few, the story takes a different turn. A sharp-eyed collector notices a difference, sends it for grading, and discovers it is one of the rarest coins in existence. From that moment, its fate changes forever. It is no longer a coin of commerce, but a treasure of history, locked in a holder, displayed at shows, traded for fortunes. The human stories around coins like the 2015 D penny are just as fascinating as the coins themselves. Imagine an ordinary person finding one in their pocket and realizing its true worth. That discovery could change their life overnight. A penny that cost 1 cent could pay for houses, cars, education, or even create generational wealth. Stories like these fuel the excitement of coin hunting, turning every penny into a potential adventure. The fascination with the 2015 D penny deepens when we begin to explore not just its physical attributes and history, but also the cultural significance it holds in the broader landscape of coin collecting. For many people, the penny is the very first coin they ever encounter, the first step into the world of money, savings, and sometimes collecting. That simple spark often leads to a lifelong passion, where one tiny coin can open the door to a universe of history and discovery. The 2015 D penny, minted in billions, plays its part in sparking these journeys, yet hidden within its vast numbers are rare and mysterious pieces that elevate it into the realm of legends. One of the most fascinating aspects of modern pennies like the 2015 D is the contrast between their face value and their collector value. On one hand, you could find one lying on the street and most people wouldn't even bother to pick it up. On the other hand, the right version of the same coin could sell for hundreds of millions of dollars. This paradox is at the heart of coin collecting. It makes people ask themselves, could I be holding a treasure and not even know it? That sense of possibility, the thrill of discovery, is what keeps collectors searching through jars of coins, rolls from banks, or even change from everyday transactions at the Denver Mint. Responsible for striking the 2015 D penny, is a place where history, precision, and chance collide. Imagine the minting floor, a massive industrial space filled with the rhythmic pounding of presses. Planchets, those blank metal discs, are fed into presses by the thousands every hour. Dies strike down with immense force, pressing Lincoln's profile and the Union shield into the copper-plated zinc surface. Every strike is supposed to be identical, but reality often introduces variation. A die might shift slightly, creating double lettering. A planchet might slip, producing an off-center coin. A layer of copper might not adhere properly, causing exposed zinc to appear. Each of these mistakes becomes a treasure for collectors, turning an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. To understand why the 2015 D penny excites collectors, we should also think about the grading scale. Coins are judged not only by their rarity but also by their state of preservation. The Sheldon grading scale, ranging from 1 to 70, is the standard used around the world. At the top, MS70 represents a perfect coin, one that shows no marks, no scratches, no signs of wear, even under magnification. Such perfection is nearly impossible to find in circulation, especially for a coin like the penny, which is so small and so heavily used. Yet when a 2015 D penny is discovered in this condition, straight from mint rolls or sealed sets, it becomes a gem of unparalleled beauty. Collectors may spend fortunes just to own one in this flawless state, and prices rise accordingly. And now let us think about symbolism once more. The obverse of the coin features Abraham Lincoln, who remains one of the most revered figures in American history. Lincoln's face on the cent is more than just a portrait, it is a reminder of sacrifice, leadership, and vision. The year 2015 marks more than 150 years since Lincoln's assassination in 1865, and yet his presence on the penny continues to connect modern Americans with their past. For many, this is a source of pride, and owning a perfect or rare 2015 D penny feels like holding a piece of Lincoln's enduring legacy. On the reverse side, the Union shield carries its own powerful symbolism. 13 vertical stripes represent the original colonies, unified by a single horizontal bar. This design, adopted in 2010, is a tribute to Lincoln's greatest achievement, preserving the Union during the Civil War. The shield is not only a nod to history but also a symbol of strength and endurance. Across it is a banner with the words 1 cent, reminding us of the coin's face value. Above it, the inscription E pluribus unum proclaims the national motto, out of many, one. These details might seem small, but for collectors and historians, they carry layers of meaning. They show how even the simplest coin is a canvas for national identity, but what truly sets the 2015 D penny apart is the way stories circulate about its value. Rumors of specimens worth $599 million capture imaginations. Whether or not such exact numbers are confirmed, the possibility is enough to create a wave of excitement. It's like the stories of lottery winners, few may ever reach that level, but the dream keeps millions buying tickets. Similarly, the dream of finding a 2015 D penny worth hundreds of millions inspires countless people to check their change carefully. Every jar of pennies, every roll from the bank, becomes a treasure chest waiting to be unlocked. Consider the role of technology in this phenomenon. In the past, collectors relied on books, shows, and clubs to share knowledge about rare coins. Today, social media and online marketplaces spread stories instantly. A photo of a rare 2015 D penny can go viral, reaching millions of viewers overnight. Auctions are streamed online, and bids come from around the world. This connectivity fuels demand, as more and more people learn about the potential value of coins they once ignored. A single YouTube video about a rare penny can inspire thousands to start checking their coins, creating a ripple effect that spreads passion for numismatics far and wide. The marketplace for coins has always been dynamic, but modern times have amplified it. When a 2015 D penny appears at an auction, collectors from every corner of the globe may compete for it. Bidding wars push the price higher and higher, not only because of the coin's intrinsic rarity but because of the prestige attached to owning it. Collectors are not just buying a coin, they are buying bragging rights, history, and a piece of national pride. For those with deep pockets, spending millions on a penny is not irrational, it is a statement of passion and legacy. We should also not forget the emotional power coins carry. Imagine a grandfather giving his grandchild a penny and telling the story of Lincoln, the Civil War, and the value of money. Imagine a young collector finding a strange-looking penny in circulation and discovering it is worth more than they ever dreamed. These moments create emotional bonds, and the 2015 D penny plays a role in countless such stories across America and beyond. Even outside the United States, Lincoln cents are admired. Collectors around the world study American coins, often drawn to the artistry and symbolism. The 2015 D penny, with its modern shield design, represents a new chapter in the Lincoln cents' long history. International collectors may pay high premiums for pristine examples, expanding the coin's appeal far beyond U.S. borders. And then there is the philosophical question: how can something so small, so common, be worth so much? The answer lies in perception. Value is not just about metal content or face value, it is about meaning, rarity, and desire. The 2015 D penny may contain only a fraction of a cent in zinc and copper, but the stories around it, the myths of rare examples, and the passion of collectors lift its worth into the stratosphere. In this way, the 2015 D penny is a perfect metaphor for life itself. Sometimes the most ordinary things hide extraordinary potential. Sometimes what appears worthless to one person is priceless to another. And sometimes, treasures are hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with sharp eyes and patient hands to discover them. The tale of the 2015 D penny continues to grow more fascinating the deeper we look, because every angle of this coin opens up another world of meaning. From the way it is minted, to the design it carries, to the stories of collectors who chase it, the 2015 D penny is a microcosm of numismatics itself. And what makes this coin so intriguing is that it sits at the crossroads of being utterly ordinary and unbelievably extraordinary at the same time. When we think about the ordinary side, the statistics tell us billions were minted. They flow through everyday life like grains of sand, passed hand to hand without a thought. At gas stations, supermarkets, coffee shops, and vending machines, pennies change hands so quickly that no one ever looks closely at them. In most households, pennies accumulate in jars or drawers, neglected and almost forgotten. This is the destiny of billions of coins, including countless 2015 D pennies. They exist in abundance, so common that most people ignore them, and yet, within this sea of commonality lies the extraordinary. Somewhere among those billions are a handful of coins with features so unique, so flawless, or so unusual that they defy ordinary value. These are the coins that catch the eye of experts and command headlines at auctions. The difference between a penny that is ignored on the ground and a penny that sells for $599 million can be as small as a doubling of a letter, a perfect untouched surface, or an unexpected minting error. That razor-thin line between ordinary and extraordinary is what fuels the fire of coin collecting. Let us look closer at mint errors, because they are at the heart of why coins like the 2015 D can become so valuable. One of the most famous types of error is the doubled die. This happens when the design on the die is impressed more than once in slightly different positions, creating a doubling effect on the struck coins. Collectors adore doubled dies, and some of the most famous pennies in history, like the 1955 doubled die cent, have become icons worth fortunes. If a 2015 D penny carries such a doubling on Lincoln's eye, his mouth, or the words "In God We Trust," its value instantly explodes. Another type of error is the off-center strike. When a planchet does not sit properly in the press, the design is struck off-center, leaving part of the coin blank. Depending on how dramatic the misalignment is, these coins can range from mildly interesting to breathtaking rarities. Imagine a 2015 D penny where Lincoln's face is cut in half by the edge of the coin. Such an error transforms a mundane cent into a prized collectible. There are also die cracks, where the die develops small fractures that leave raised lines on the coin's surface. To collectors, these extra lines are like signatures of the minting process, making the coin stand out. Then there are clipped planchets, where part of the coin is missing because the blank was improperly cut, or broad strikes, where the coin is struck without the collar that normally contains its shape, leaving it stretched and oversized. Each of these errors makes the coin unique, and uniqueness in numismatics always translates into value, but errors are only one side of the equation. Condition plays an equally powerful role. A coin with no errors at all, but graded MS70, can be worth far more than a lower grade coin with a minor error. This is because perfection itself is rare. Imagine billions of pennies being struck, then dumped into bins, transported in bags, rattled in trucks, and spilled into circulation. The vast majority get scratches, dings, and marks before they ever reach a collector's hands. To find one that has survived perfectly, with its luster untouched and its details razor-sharp, is like finding a time capsule. That coin is a miracle of preservation, and collectors will pay astronomical prices for it. Now let us step back and think about the human side. Why do people chase pennies like the 2015 D? Part of the answer is the thrill of discovery. Coin collecting is often compared to treasure hunting, and for good reason. Every roll of coins from the bank, every handful of change from a store, is a chance to discover something rare. People dream of finding the next big rarity, the next coin that will make headlines and change their lives. The 2015 D penny, with its legends of astronomical value, fuels the dream. The psychological power of owning something rare cannot be overstated. Humans are drawn to exclusivity. When something is one of a kind, or even one of a very small number, it carries a prestige that cannot be measured in dollars alone. Owning a rare coin is not just about having metal, it is about holding a piece of history, a piece of identity, a piece of something larger than oneself. For wealthy collectors, spending millions or even hundreds of millions on a coin is not irrational, it is the fulfillment of a desire to connect with greatness and to own something no one else has. The $599 million figure attached to the 2015 D penny, whether based on fact or legend, serves as a symbol of this desire. Even if most people will never see such a coin in their lifetime, the idea that it exists is enough to spark fascination. It creates a narrative of possibility. Someone, somewhere, may be sitting on a penny that could change their life forever. That story is powerful. Consider also the role of institutions like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These grading services act as gatekeepers of value, examining coins and assigning them official grades that determine their market worth. A 2015 D penny sent to one of these services might come back as an MS65, a common high grade worth a few dollars. But if it comes back as MS70, it becomes a star, a coin that commands attention and sets auction records. The official certification adds credibility, and in the world of high-end collecting, credibility is everything. The market for coins is also shaped by auctions. Imagine the scene: a hushed room, bidders with paddles, the auctioneer calling out numbers with rapid precision. A 2015 D penny appears, encapsulated in a protective holder, its grade and error details displayed. The bidding begins, and hands shoot up. The numbers climb higher and higher, the atmosphere electric. Finally, the hammer falls, and the coin is sold for an amount that shocks the audience. News spreads instantly across the numismatic community, and the coin becomes a legend. Stories like this happen, and every time they do, they fuel the myth of coins like the 2015 D penny. We must also consider how the penny itself has become a cultural icon. Though some argue for its elimination, it persists in the American imagination. Phrases like "a penny for your thoughts" or "a penny saved is a penny earned" remind us that the coin has symbolic weight far beyond its face value. Finding a penny heads up is said to bring good luck. Pennies are tossed into fountains with wishes attached to them. They are pressed into souvenirs at amusement parks. They are part of everyday life in ways that go beyond economics. The 2015 D penny carries all of this cultural baggage, making it more than just a coin. It is a symbol woven into daily rituals and superstitions, and yet, the debates about eliminating the penny persist. Critics argue that it costs more to produce than it is worth, that it slows transactions, and that it has outlived its usefulness. But defenders point to its cultural and historical significance. Abraham Lincoln, one of the greatest American presidents, has graced the coin for more than a century. Eliminating the penny would feel like erasing part of that legacy. The 2015 D penny exists within this debate, representing both the practicality of modern minting and the emotional weight of tradition. When you put all of this together, the design, the errors, the condition, the cultural meaning, the myths of astronomical value, you begin to see why the 2015 D penny is so fascinating. It is not just metal. It is history, art, luck, tradition, rarity, and possibility all wrapped into one. And that is why collectors and enthusiasts around the world continue to talk about it, search for it, and dream of finding that one example worth hundreds of millions. The more we study the 2015 D penny, the clearer it becomes that this coin is not just a piece of money but a portal into multiple worlds: history, art, economics, technology, and human psychology. For a simple cent to inspire such conversation, such passion, and such unbelievable valuations speaks volumes about the power of numismatics. Every 2015 D penny carries with it countless stories waiting to be told. Point one story lies in its connection to Abraham Lincoln. His face has graced the cent since 1909, when the nation celebrated the 100th anniversary of his birth. That decision itself was historic, because until then, U.S. coinage rarely featured real historical figures. Instead, coins displayed allegorical images, Lady Liberty, eagles, or other symbols. Putting Lincoln's portrait on the cent marked a turning point in American coinage, and it was not without controversy. Some critics argued that coins should remain symbolic and free of political imagery. But the public embraced Lincoln's likeness, and it became one of the most enduring designs in U.S. history. By the time the 2015 D penny was minted, Lincoln's presence on the cent was not only accepted but beloved. The Lincoln design also evolved. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse showed two wheat stalks, symbolizing prosperity. From 1959 to 2008, the reverse displayed the Lincoln Memorial, honoring the president's legacy in stone. Then, starting in 2010, the reverse shifted to the Union Shield, representing the preservation of the nation during the Civil War. The 2015 D penny belongs to this shield era, carrying the heavy symbolism of unity and strength. When collectors hold it, they are holding more than a coin, they are holding a century-long tradition of Lincoln's enduring memory. Another story lies in the minting technology. In the early days of U.S. coinage, coins were struck by hand, one at a time, with imperfections everywhere. But by 2015, minting had become a science of precision. Machines struck thousands of coins per minute, with laser-engraved dies and carefully controlled planchets. Yet, even with all this technology, mistakes still happened. The idea that modern machinery could produce billions of coins, yet still allow a rare error to slip through, fascinates collectors. Errors are like fingerprints of the minting process, accidental signatures left behind by the very machines meant to enforce perfection. And the 2015 D penny is one of the coins where collectors search tirelessly for these hidden signatures. Beyond technology, the penny tells a story of economics. In 2015, the debate about the cost of pennies was alive and well. Each cent cost more to produce than its face value. Critics saw this as wasteful, a symbol of inefficiency in government. But defenders argued that the penny was part of America's heritage, and eliminating it would dishonor Lincoln. The 2015 D penny, minted in the billions despite these debates, symbolizes the tension between practicality and tradition. It is a coin that should not exist from a purely economic standpoint, yet it continues to be produced because of sentiment and history. And then there is the human side, the dream of discovery. Imagine someone walking into a bank in 2015, asking for a roll of pennies. They take it home, open it up, and spread the coins on a table. At first, they all look the same. But then, under the light, one coin stands out. Perhaps the date looks doubled. Perhaps the color is unusual. Perhaps the strike is off-center. That single coin, discovered in the middle of an ordinary roll, could turn into a life-changing treasure. This is why people keep searching. Every 2015 D penny in circulation carries the potential of being that hidden gem, and that possibility turns ordinary change into a treasure hunt. The story of value also deserves more reflection. The figure of $599 million attached to the 2015 D penny may sound outrageous, but it reveals something deeper about human nature. Value is not inherent, it is assigned. A penny's metal may be worth only a fraction of a cent, but if collectors believe it is rare, if they desire it, if they compete for it, then its value soars. This is the magic of collecting, turning the ordinary into the extraordinary through passion and desire. The $599 million story is not just about money, it is about imagination. It pushes people to dream, to believe that even the smallest coin can hold limitless potential. Consider, too, the role of storytelling in creating value. Coins are not just pieces of metal, they are narratives. The 2015 D. Pennies story includes Abraham Lincoln, the Civil War, the evolution of U.S. coin design, modern minting technology, economic debates, and collector dreams. Each layer of this story adds value. The coin is not valuable because of its weight in zinc and copper, it is valuable because of the stories we attach to it. And the more stories we tell, the higher its aura of significance becomes. Now imagine the coin traveling through time. A 2015 D. penny minted in Denver begins its journey in mint bags, then moves to banks, stores, and pockets. Along the way, it witnesses everyday life, purchases of coffee, candy, newspapers, and gas. It passes through the hands of children, workers, businesspeople, and perhaps even collectors. Each transaction leaves an invisible trace, a mark of human life. Over the years, most of these pennies wear down, tarnish, and fade. But a rare few remain pristine, untouched, preserved in rolls or sets. These survivors become the jewels of the numismatic world. Their journey is not one of circulation but of preservation, hidden away until the right collector discovers them. The Denver Mint's legacy also adds depth to the story. Founded in the early 20th century, it has become one of the world's largest mints, producing coins that circulate globally. Denver's Mint Mark D is a badge of authenticity, a signal that the coin was born in the Rocky Mountains, in a facility that has shaped America's money for over a century. The 2015 D. penny carries that badge proudly, connecting it to a lineage of coins stretching back through decades of American history. We must not forget the global perspective. While the penny is an American coin, collectors worldwide pursue it. Numismatics is an international hobby, and Lincoln cents are among the most famous coins in the world. A rare 2015 D. penny might end up in the hands of a collector in Europe, Asia, or the Middle East, cherished as a symbol of American history and artistry. This global demand only adds to its mystique. In the end, the 2015 D. penny is a paradox. It is common, yet rare. It is worthless, yet priceless. It is tiny, yet massive in meaning. It is a coin that sparks debate, excitement, dreams, and legends. To some, it is just a cent. To others, it is a treasure worth hundreds of millions. This duality is what makes it so powerful, and so, the story of the 2015 D. penny is not finished. Every day, more are found, more are studied, more are cherished. Every day, collectors open rolls of coins with hope in their hearts. And every day, the legend grows. Perhaps somewhere right now, in someone's pocket or jar of change, sits the next great discovery, the next 2015 D. penny to shock the world with its value. The 2015 D. penny's reputation continues to expand because it represents more than just metal pressed into shape. It is, at its core, a bridge between the past and the present. When someone holds it, they are holding an artifact that connects Abraham Lincoln's legacy, America's numismatic traditions, and the endless human search for rarity and meaning. It may be small enough to fit under your thumbnail, yet its story stretches across centuries. To truly appreciate the 2015 D. penny, one must also consider the role of chance. Coins circulate endlessly, tossed in and out of registers, dropped on sidewalks, stuffed into tip jars, and rattled in pockets. For most people, pennies are insignificant, but for collectors, the randomness of circulation is part of the excitement. Every coin has a journey, and no two are alike. A 2015 D. penny might spend its first years untouched in a bank vault, or it might immediately go into circulation, scratched and worn by hundreds of hands. The element of randomness means that the rarest and most valuable examples are scattered across the country, waiting to be found by someone lucky or determined enough to notice, and that randomness leads us to the psychology of searching. Why do collectors search rolls of pennies, sometimes for hours, eyes straining under bright lamps, magnifiers in hand? The answer lies in hope. The 2015 D. penny represents a dream that even the smallest, most overlooked object can hold unimaginable wealth. For some, it's like playing the lottery, but with better odds, because patience and knowledge play a role. For others, it's about the joy of the hunt, the thrill of discovery. And for a rare few, it's about the possibility of holding a piece of history worth more than entire empires. Consider how human beings assign value. Gold and diamonds have value because of rarity and desirability. Art has value because of creativity, reputation, and demand. Coins like the 2015 D. penny combine both. They are rare when certain conditions align: errors, grades, mint marks, and they are desirable because they carry deep cultural resonance. Abraham Lincoln, unity, American history, and numismatic tradition all collide in this one coin. That's why its legend grows bigger than its actual size. Now imagine the market in action. Picture an auction hall where a pristine 2015 D. penny, graded MS-70, untouched, flawless, possibly with an error, sits under bright lights. Collectors and investors gather, each hoping to add this rarity to their collection. The bidding starts modestly, perhaps in the tens of thousands, but quickly climbs. Voices rise, paddles lift, the energy builds. The coin is no longer just a piece of metal, it is a trophy, a prize, a symbol of status. Finally, the auctioneer slams the gavel, and the coin sells for an earth-shattering price. Headlines spread the news: 2015 penny sells for record $599 million. Such a sale reshapes the numismatic world and cements the penny's legendary status. Of course, not every 2015 penny will sell for such astronomical sums. But that is the beauty of the legend, because the story exists, it keeps people searching. Millions of hobbyists scour their change, hoping to be the one who stumbles upon the next great discovery. This collective effort creates a culture of hope and excitement, uniting people of all ages and backgrounds in a shared pursuit. A child finding a shiny penny in their allowance might be holding the same coin an expert collector desires, and that possibility brings people together. We must also reflect on the role of symbolism. The shield on the reverse of the 2015 penny is not just decorative. It carries meaning. It represents unity, the strength of the union preserved through struggle, and the resilience of a nation that endured civil war. To hold the coin is to hold that symbolism in your hand, whether consciously or not. The design itself turns the penny into a miniature work of art, a reminder that even the smallest denominations carry big messages, and Lincoln's portrait adds to the symbolism. His face is not just an image, it is an icon of leadership, sacrifice, and freedom. For generations, Americans have looked at the penny and seen not just a president, but a figure who represents ideals larger than any one man. The 2015 penny continues that tradition, reinforcing the idea that even the lowest coin in value carries the highest weight and meaning. This duality, the smallest coin with the biggest message, adds to its mystique. Collectors love paradoxes, and the 2015 penny embodies one perfectly. It is simultaneously worthless and priceless. It is common and rare. It is ordinary and extraordinary. This contradiction makes it irresistible to those who chase the rarest treasures. Then there is the role of preservation. Most coins enter circulation, get scratched, tarnished, and worn, losing their collector appeal. But some are set aside early, preserved in rolls, mint sets, or private collections. These survivors become the key to value. The difference between a 2015 penny worth a cent and one worth millions often lies in whether it was protected from the chaos of circulation. Collectors therefore hunt not only for errors but also for coins that have escaped wear, for those rare examples that look exactly as they did the moment they left the press. We should not underestimate the emotional pull of discovery either. Stories abound of ordinary people finding rare coins in pocket change, coins later worth thousands, sometimes even millions. These stories inspire others, creating a cycle of hope and action. The legend of the 2015 penny, with its astronomical valuation of $599 million, is part of this cycle. It tells people that anything is possible, that even the humblest coin can change a life. This story is more than economics, it is folklore. Folklore spreads because it taps into human desires, the desire for luck, the desire for wealth, the desire for connection to history. The 2015 penny is not just a coin, it is a symbol of all these desires. That is why videos, articles, and discussions about it go viral. People are drawn to the possibility, the myth, the chance that they too might stumble upon greatness. Let us also consider how time changes perception. Right now, billions of 2015 pennies still circulate. But as decades pass, they will be lost, destroyed, melted, or worn down. Their numbers will shrink. Future collectors will look back at 2015 and see it as history, and the few pristine survivors will become even more valuable. A coin that seems ordinary today could be legendary tomorrow, simply because time adds rarity. That's another paradox: what is common now may one day be priceless. The global interest in American coinage amplifies this effect. Collectors from every corner of the world seek U.S. coins, not only for their artistry but for their symbolism of America itself. A rare 2015 penny could travel far beyond U.S. borders, cherished as a piece of global heritage. The demand is not confined to one country, it is universal, making the potential market enormous. And then there is the sheer poetry of it all. A coin meant to represent 1 cent, almost discarded, nearly worthless, becomes a legend worth $599 million. This transformation is breathtaking. It reminds us that value is never fixed, it is fluid, shaped by human imagination. The 2015 penny proves that the smallest things can carry the greatest significance, that what we overlook may one day shine the brightest. The 2015 penny reminds us that the smallest pieces of history can often have the greatest impact. When we think of treasures, we usually imagine gold bars, rare diamonds, or ancient artifacts locked in museums. Yet, here is a coin worth just 1 cent on its face, transformed in the minds of collectors and enthusiasts into a priceless artifact. This transformation does not happen by accident, it is the product of history, scarcity, symbolism, and above all, human imagination. At the heart of the 2015 D penny is Abraham Lincoln. More than just a face on a coin, Lincoln is a symbol of freedom, leadership, and sacrifice. The decision to place him on the penny in 1909 forever linked America's lowest denomination with its highest ideals. The penny became not only a coin of commerce but also a reminder of national values. By 2015, that tradition was more than a century old, and every new penny minted carried that legacy forward. Collectors know this, and that knowledge adds to the coin's weight and meaning. The shield on the reverse is equally powerful. Designed to represent the preservation of the Union during the Civil War, it is a bold reminder that America endured one of its darkest hours and emerged united. The 2015 D penny, therefore, is not just about Lincoln the man, it is about Lincoln the symbol of unity. Every time someone looks at the shield, whether they know its meaning or not, they are holding a coin that speaks of resilience and togetherness. But beyond design and symbolism, what truly electrifies collectors is the element of rarity. Billions of 2015 D pennies exist, yet only a microscopic fraction might hold the qualities that turn them into legends. This is where errors, condition, and provenance come into play. A double die error, a perfect strike, or a coin preserved untouched since 2015, these factors can elevate a penny from pocket change to fortune. The thrill lies in the possibility that any 2015 D penny you pick up could be one of those rare few, and it is that possibility that drives the treasure hunting spirit. Imagine a collector sitting at a kitchen table late at night, rolls of pennies stacked around them, a magnifying glass in hand. One by one, they examine each coin, their eyes sharp, their hands steady. The hours slip by, but the excitement never fades, because with every coin turned over, the possibility of discovery remains alive. That hope that the next coin might be the one is what keeps people searching. The 2015 D penny embodies that hope more than most. The market reinforces this spirit. Auction houses and grading services create an environment where rarity is rewarded with astronomical prices. A coin certified as MS70 by PCGS or NGC instantly commands attention, because perfection in the world of billions is so unlikely. When such a coin comes to market, collectors compete fiercely, not just for the metal but for the prestige of ownership. Owning a flawless 2015 D penny is not only about having a coin, it is about holding a piece of perfection itself. The figure of $599 million attached to the 2015 D penny is part of this myth-making process. Whether rooted in reality or hyperbole, it captures imaginations precisely because it sounds impossible. How can a penny, the lowest denomination, be worth more than some of the world's greatest works of art? And yet, in the world of collectibles, such leaps are not only possible, they are expected. Value is dictated not by utility but by rarity, demand, and desire. When those three forces align, even the humblest coin can ascend to godlike status. Consider also the role of folklore. Coins like the 2015 D penny do not exist only in auction catalogs, they exist in stories told between collectors, whispered in coin clubs, discussed in online forums, and shared in viral videos. Every story adds fuel to the legend. Someone might claim to have seen one sell for hundreds of millions. Another might say they found one in circulation. These stories blur the line between fact and myth, but that blur is precisely what keeps the fascination alive. People don't just collect coins, they collect stories, and the story of the 2015 D penny is one of the most powerful. The coin also plays a role in family traditions. Many collectors inherit their passion from parents or grandparents. A grandfather might hand his grandson a jar of pennies, saying, "Look carefully, some of these could be worth a fortune." That simple act creates a bond, linking generations through a shared pursuit of discovery. The 2015 D penny becomes part of these legacies, passed down not only as metal but as memory. In this way, the coin's value expands beyond money into love, tradition, and continuity. Then there is the philosophical dimension. The penny challenges our understanding of value itself. If something so small and overlooked can become so valuable, what does that say about the world around us? It reminds us to look closer, to pay attention to details, to appreciate the hidden treasures in everyday life. A penny picked up on the street may not just be loose change, it may be a reminder of possibility, luck, or destiny. The 2015 D penny, with its incredible legend, elevates this lesson to the highest degree. We should not overlook the role of global collectors. American coinage is beloved worldwide, and Lincoln cents are among the most collected coins in history. From Europe to Asia to South America, numismatists treasure these coins as symbols of American democracy and artistry. A rare 2015 D penny could find its way into a collection halfway around the world, admired not just as a U.S. artifact but as a piece of global heritage. This international demand ensures that its value will only grow with time, and speaking of time, let us imagine the future. Decades from now, most 2015 D pennies will be gone, lost, melted, or worn beyond recognition. The few that remain pristine will be priceless relics. A child in 2050 might inherit a coin collection and discover a flawless 2015 D penny, only to realize it is worth more than their entire home. In that moment, the myth becomes reality, and the legend of the $599 million penny lives on. This is the power of the 2015 D penny. It is more than a coin. It is a dream, a story, a lesson, a tradition, a symbol, and a treasure. It proves that greatness can come from the smallest places, that value is created as much by imagination as by metal, and that even the most ordinary objects can become extraordinary when viewed through the right lens. The penny may say 1 cent, but its true worth lies far beyond numbers. It lies in the endless fascination it inspires. The 2015 D penny is not only a coin, it is a mirror. When we study it, we are not just looking at zinc and copper. We are looking at ourselves, our values, our dreams, and our history. The penny reflects the contradictions of human nature, our tendency to overlook the small while chasing the grand, our habit of assigning immense worth to things that, on the surface, appear trivial, and our endless hunger for stories of transformation. Think about it. The penny is the lowest denomination in US currency, a coin many people refuse to even bend down to pick up. Yet, that very same coin has the power to shock the world when a rare version of it surfaces and commands a fortune at auction. The 2015 D penny is the ultimate reminder that greatness can hide in plain sight, that the extraordinary often disguises itself as the ordinary. This is why collectors obsess over details most people never notice. The thickness of a line, the shape of a letter, the shine of the luster, these are the differences between pocket change and priceless treasure. For the 2015 D penny, details matter more than anything. A double date, a misplaced mint mark, or a flawless surface can create a gulf of value wider than an ocean. A penny with a scratch might be worth 1 cent. The same penny without that scratch might be worth hundreds of millions, and this obsession with details is not confined to experts. Beginners, too, are drawn into the magic of close inspection. A child with a magnifying glass, examining a 2015 D penny, may be unknowingly stepping into a lifelong passion. The act of looking closely teaches patience, observation, and appreciation. It transforms a simple coin into a world of discovery. The 2015 D penny thus serves as an entry point for new generations of collectors, a humble gateway into the vast universe of numismatics. We must also consider the cultural narratives surrounding money itself. Throughout history, coins have carried meanings beyond commerce. They have been used to celebrate victories, honor leaders, and communicate national values. The 2015 D penny continues this tradition. Its shield reverse is a message of unity. Its Lincoln obverse is a message of leadership. Together, they transform the coin into a miniature monument, as significant in its symbolism as the Lincoln Memorial itself. Now imagine the coin in circulation. A cashier gives it as change. A child saves it in a piggy bank. A traveler drops it into a fountain with a wish. Each interaction layers the coin with human meaning. For most people, it remains an unnoticed piece of change. But for the rare collector who finds an error, a perfect strike, or an uncirculated survivor, it becomes something else entirely. That contrast, the unnoticed by many, the priceless for a few, creates the mythic aura around the 2015 D penny. The myth is amplified by stories of astronomical sales. Even the rumor of a 2015 D penny selling for hundreds of millions spreads like wildfire. People love these stories because they flip expectations upside down. The poorest coin becomes the richest. The smallest denomination becomes the greatest prize. It is a modern-day fairy tale, and fairy tales always find an eager audience. The heart of these stories is human imagination. Coins are physical, but their value is abstract. A penny's true worth lies not in its metal, but in the meaning we give it. When collectors, dealers, and investors agree that a particular 2015 D penny is rare, unique, or perfect, its value skyrockets. The $599 million figure becomes less about economics and more about symbolism. It represents the boundless potential of human desire, the way we can take something ordinary and elevate it to legendary status. This is why auctions are so important. Auctions turn coins into spectacles, theater for wealth and prestige. The drama of bidding, the gasps as numbers climb, the hammer striking down, these moments transform coins into legends. A 2015 D penny that might have sat unnoticed in a jar suddenly becomes the star of an event that makes headlines. And once headlines are written, the legend becomes part of public consciousness, inspiring countless others to search their change. The penny also embodies the passage of time. Minted in 2015, it already belongs to history. As each year passes, its place in the timeline of American coinage becomes more defined. Future generations will look back at it not as a common modern coin but as a relic of the early 21st century. By then, the majority of these pennies will be gone, worn down, melted, or lost. The survivors will stand as rare representatives of their era, and their value will rise accordingly. We should also reflect on the deeper symbolism of Lincoln's presence on the penny. Lincoln was a man who rose from humble beginnings to lead a nation. The penny, too, rises from humble status to hold immense symbolic value. In this way, the coin itself mirrors Lincoln's story, small, underestimated, yet capable of greatness. Collectors sense this parallel, even if unconsciously, and it adds to the coin's appeal. The 2015 D penny is also a symbol of unity across time and space. It unites collectors from different countries, generations, and walks of life. A child in America, a historian in Europe, a businessman in Asia, all can look at this coin and see meaning. The global reach of its legend ensures that it will never fade from memory. Perhaps the greatest irony of all is that the 2015 D penny, a coin many discard or ignore, teaches us the most valuable lesson: never overlook the small. Within the smallest things, we often find the greatest treasures. That is the enduring message of this coin, a message carried not only in copper and zinc but in the stories, dreams, and legends built around it. The story of the 2015 D penny is not just a tale of numismatics, not just a discussion of weight, design, mint marks, and errors. It is a story of possibility, of imagination, and of the human tendency to seek greatness in the smallest of places. From its humble beginnings at the Denver Mint, struck in the billions and sent into circulation without fanfare, the 2015 D penny has grown into one of the most talked about coins of its era. Its design links it to more than a century of Lincoln's presence on the cent, reminding us of leadership, freedom, and sacrifice. Its shield reverse symbolizes unity, endurance, and national strength. Its errors, varieties, and rare perfect strikes elevate it from ordinary change to priceless treasure. And above all, its legend, that a single specimen could be worth an almost unbelievable $599 million, transforms it into folklore, a modern myth that keeps collectors searching and dreamers believing. The beauty of this story is that it belongs to everyone. The 2015 D penny is not locked away in a vault, accessible only to the wealthy. It is out there, in circulation, in pockets, in drawers, in jars of loose change across the country. Anyone, at any time, could stumble upon the right one. A child checking their allowance, a worker counting tips, a collector opening a roll from the bank, all of them have the same chance to discover a coin that could rewrite their destiny. This accessibility makes the legend even stronger. Unlike some treasures that exist only for the elite, the penny is for the people, and its greatness can be discovered by anyone. This is why the 2015 D penny captures hearts as much as wallets. It symbolizes hope. It tells us that even in the most ordinary places, there can be extraordinary treasures. It reminds us that history is not something distant in museums, it is alive in our hands, jingling in our pockets, waiting to be noticed. Every time someone looks closely at a 2015 D penny, they are connecting to Lincoln, to America's struggles and triumphs, and to the timeless human pursuit of value and meaning. And so, as we reach the end of this exploration, we are left with a profound truth: the 2015 D penny is more than money. It is a teacher, a storyteller, a dream maker. It proves that no coin is too small to carry greatness, that no object is too humble to inspire legends. From the first strike at the Denver Mint to the possibility of becoming the centerpiece of a record-breaking auction, this penny's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Perhaps right now, somewhere in circulation, the next legendary 2015 D penny is waiting to be found. Perhaps it is sitting unnoticed in a jar of coins on a dresser. Perhaps it lies forgotten in the corner of a wallet. Perhaps it will pass through your hands today, tomorrow, or next week. And when it does, will you notice it? Will you look closer? Will you recognize the possibility that you are holding not just 1 cent, but a piece of history worth more than entire fortunes? That is the magic of the 2015 D penny. A coin that says 1 cent, but tells a story worth $599 million. A coin that proves greatness hides in plain sight. A coin that will forever remind us to look closer, dream bigger, and never underestimate the smallest treasures of our world. And with that, the legend continues. The 2015 D penny will keep inspiring, keep surprising, and keep teaching us that sometimes, the tiniest things carry the heaviest weight and meaning. It may be small, but its story is infinite.